Welcome to the channel. Welcome to the channel. Oh, the Ilblurmatic. Welcome back to another installment of Ilblurmatic, and today we are back with another Loki review, episode 2, The Variants, and let's talk about this episode. Also, there will be a spoiler, so if you have not seen Loki episode 2, I'm letting you know right now, do not watch this video because you're going to be disappointed, because I'm going to do a reveal at the end of this episode of who is the other Loki. So, just letting you know now, y'all can go leave and come back. So this episode starts off with the TVA. I'm just going to call them the Time Cops. TVA, meaning the Time Cops, literally go to 1985 Wisconsin at a Renaissance festival where everyone's kind of dressed up like in medieval fashion. And literally, the other Loki is in that particular timeline. So what I understand from this episode is literally the other Loki's whereabouts. We see the other Loki go into action. The time variant officers, they literally go into this tent. And boy, oh boy, the other time variant cops got killed. Shockingly, the only one that was left was the captain, or I guess you could say commander. That's what they call their officer, their top dog. And literally, when we see this, I noticed that this Loki is a little different. It's like they usually take someone else's body and disguise themselves as the other person, and that's what that Loki actually did in the tent. So that is the start of the episode. So let's get to the next part of the episode. We see Loki at a desk. Becoming a detective pretty much, because he has, he's at the desk. He's messing with the time. I guess you're going to call it the time symbol emoji. Because this living is like literally, it can come in and out of the computer. I was like, the TVA like headquarters is like dope. Like this little time thing. She's so cute. She's talking to Loki. Loki's picking with her. She's like, did you do what I asked you to do? And I was like, come on. And she's like, Loki. Little cute clock. I was like, yo, this is interesting. So in this episode, we see Loki, not the other Loki that they're trying to arrest, but the one that is pretty much under surveillance of the TVA, pretty much become a detective. And him understanding that this other Loki is definitely a problem. We see Morbius, which is played by Owen Wilson. Morbius and kind of Loki's relationship kind of grow. He still doesn't trust Loki because, come on, he's the god of he's the trickster god. So he's like, I still don't trust you. Loki's trying to, get his way into becoming one of them. For how long, we really don't know that. You know what I'm saying? Like, Loki can't be trusted. You know what I'm saying? So we see that Morbius believes in him. Even when the other people, the other time variant cops don't believe him. Even the judge doesn't believe him. So Loki's kind of like, he got his back against the wall because they still feel like he's gonna stab them in the back, like betray them. And we see that Mobius is the only one that really sees like, yo, I think he can definitely help us, catch this other variants that's causing all the chaos. That's pretty much just him. But one thing I like about this episode is we see Loki kind of going back to what happened to him in the past. And we see that he digs up records to find out where this other time variant could be. And we noticed that Loki paid attention when they went to Wisconsin to figure out what was going on. Loki was like, yo, this time variant is definitely somewhere else by now. But if you guys go against what I'm trying to do, most likely y'all not gonna live. Meaning that this other Loki is gonna kill them. And we can understand Loki knows himself. Even if this is another Loki, you're like, yo, he knows himself too well. So They listened to Loki, and all they did was erase what happened. You know what I'm saying? They had a little capsule, they threw it down. No one knows what happened at the Renaissance Festival, so that's a good thing. But also, we see Loki going to another potential place. And what do I mean by potential place? Where this other Loki is located, this other one that's kind of like killing people left and right. Well, except for leaving the commander living. And pretty much Loki travels to Pompeii, but first Morbius had to get approval before going because you know he's a detective. You know what I'm saying? The judge, he talked to the judge, she's like, are you sure you really want to do this? Like, how can we really trust him when he's done all these different things? Like, death is always kind of, I guess that's probably what it is. They don't trust him. They feel like he's going to kill more people because in the last episode, Loki had killed many of people. And we see that they reflect on this too in the episode where he sees the case of how many people that has been killed. And I was like, and we can see Loki a little emotional about it because it had 9,000 plus people. I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? You know, with Asgard due to Ragnarok. So it's kind of like going back to Thor 3. I like that it's kind of like the Avengers 1, Thor 3, Avengers Endgame. So I like that it's connected to the movies, this show. And we see that. But also in this episode, we see Loki eventually going to another place where the Time Variant Authority is next location that Loki's predicted. Pretty much another destroyed timeline. Seems like the Time Variant likes places where it's chaos, like Pompeii. Now he's in another area, you know what I'm saying, where there's chaos. It seems like the town is gonna flood, you know what I'm saying? They're like in this shelter where it's nothing but weapons, and everything, and even probably food as well. But what we see is Loki encounter the Time Variant. Time Variant disguised, pretty much herself as another officer. Yes, I said her. So let's get to the meats and bones of this. So Loki encounters the Time Variant in another person's body. A person that was like looking for plants, then transferred to another guy, then transferred to this big guy. And this is when Loki had to fight for his life. I was like, oh my God, this Time Variant version, other Loki, is terrible. Like, they're able to transfer their soul into like the next person's body and stuff. It's kind of creepy because you're like, you got to figure out like who's who, you know what I'm saying? Because the cop that has like this hate for Loki, that she really doesn't trust Loki, was like, they're like, what happened to her? She pretty much was knocked out for quite a bit in this episode, you know what I'm saying? Because she took on the other Loki took on that form. Also, here's the reveal. Loki's a she. So the other Loki is a she. I liked how Loki, before this part takes place, where Loki negotiates, like, look, we can take the divine timeline down together. I'm not really trying to work with these people. So Loki is kind of a negotiator, you know what I'm saying? He's trying to negotiate, like, let's do something together. Let's team up together. And the other Loki like, nah, bruh, we not having that, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could tell, like, they weren't interested. And it was interesting because we got a chance to see, like, this Loki has a different objective. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to work with their counterparts from another universe. Also, in this episode, we find the commander that was kidnapped in Wisconsin. Like, she had been reconditioned, and something happened to her, and we know that for a fact that the place, the warehouse that they are at, is connected to the actual divine timeline. And it seems like the places that have the disasters is what I'm kind of getting from this. This is only a prediction, okay? Don't be like, hey man, you said it was that. Seems like it connects to the divine timeline. And also we found the real objective of the female Loki. And the female Loki's real objective, like honestly, I was like, this is a clever objective. She's trying to pretty much kill the Time Lords. That is her main objective. So now the problem is the time, TVA, pretty much cops find out her objective because the timeline is getting damaged. The divine timeline is getting damaged. We see Mobius pretty much like shot that Loki literally went through the time little doorway. But before that, we saw Loki find out that the Loki that they thought was a man is a she. But we also see Loki hesitant before going into the door, and we can see Mobius feeling betrayed by Loki because he's like, I thought, he had so much trust into him. The head cop didn't trust Loki. His judge buddy didn't trust Loki. And you could tell that Loki probably was fed up with it. Like, how can we work together if y'all don't trust me? You know what I'm saying? So, the variant also, by the way, is the back of his jacket as a detective. I thought was really neat. This show, I know a lot of you probably like, oh, this is an action show. There's some action in this episode, but it's more of like a comedy, like detective type of show. But I really like how this show is taking off. Like I said, we finally found out that Loki is a she. The other Loki, yes, that Loki, the male Loki's been tracking down. But I like this episode. We are learning about also that timelines can be destroyed. So I thought that was really neat that we're learning about this type of stuff. So, like I said, guys, until next time, have you seen episode 2, Loki, titled The Variant? So next time, guys, have a great day, and I am out.